Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of StormCast with the A-Team here on EWV. Got my partners in crime, Dan Cloween up in Wisconsin, and the Lady Disaster herself out in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And I'm your host, Rip Sani, here in EWV HQ in Stone Mountain, Georgia. We've got some cool things that we're going to be talking about tonight, guys, so we're going to kick it off. We're going to throw it over to Dan. He has had quite an interesting week, making the national news with flooding there in Wisconsin. So, Dan, tell us a little bit more about what was experienced in Wisconsin.
Well, I forget what date it actually was, but we had an area in Burlington, Wisconsin. That's the area that you're referring to that made national news. They had, I believe it was record flooding. They had over 8 inches of rain inside of a 24-hour period. And it caused a lot of flooding. I got a couple of pictures here that I can share with you. These are going to be credit from fox6.com. I'm taking that off of their website there. But they put together a real good photo slideshow here, and it just gives you an idea on how much flooding there really was.
Wow.
This here would be the Fox River, as you can see, which is almost up to the road going. Yeah. Quite a bit of damage. Even the National Guard was called in. There was a state of emergency for my county, which is Walworth County. This here would be Racine County. And then there was also Kenosha County had a lot of flooding as well, particularly around Highway 50.
Right up to the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
A couple more pictures here real quick. But yeah, quite a bit of flooding. Obviously a problem. I know people have been without power for up to at least 3 days after this storm came through that I'm aware of. There might have been some people without power longer, but I know someone personally that didn't have their power restored until another 3 days after the fact. But it was a mess. You couldn't get from one side of town to the other. Because with Burlington, this would be the Fox River. It kind of flows almost right through the middle of the city, really. So it kind of split the city in half.
Yeah.
So a lot of problems down there in Burlington.
Area?
What's that?
What was the flooding like in your neighborhood there?
Over in my area, it was patchy. Along Highway 12. Parts of Highway 12 was closed for low-lying areas. When I was trying to get to work that morning, I had to go at least 10 miles the other direction just so that I could get to the interstate to get through the area that I was already in trying to cross. There were lots of highways blocked off, and it happened so fast that not all the areas that had flooding problems were even barricaded or marked off yet. I'd be going down a road, and just as I think I found a south road that would get me into town, there was a river going right through the road. So I'm like, all right, well, this isn't going to work. So turn around and kept going. And
there you go.
I had to get all the way up to the interstate before I could finally get through.
Was there a lot of damage to homes in the area? Like basements flooding and stuff like that?
Yes. In fact, just down the road from me, they had their basements flooded. I mean, a couple of blocks made a difference depending on where you were. But yeah, there was a lot of people without power. There was many people had flooded basements, a lot of water in a very short amount of time. Those storms, when they came through, they traveled very slow. So it wasn't even so much that it was a lot of the rate of the rain wasn't all that. It was intense, but not as intense as it could have been. The problem is that the storms themselves weren't really moving very fast. They were almost stationary.
Wow, yeah. So that's what happens. I remember back in 2009 when we had the big flood here in Atlanta, it was the same type of thing. very slow-moving MCS came through the Atlanta area, just kind of set up right over the city and surrounding areas, and dumped a bunch of rain. There's all sorts of flooding, so that's the danger with those things.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, and then a couple of days later, we had more rain come through. Fortunately, that wasn't as bad. Still didn't help the situation much, but now things are starting to dry out, and I think we're in store for a couple of dry days, at least coming up the next few. So
Yeah, that's good. You definitely are in store for some more dry days, and I also temperatures are going to be heating up across much of the eastern third of the U.S. Is that dome of high pressure is going to be slowly shifting to the east. I know out in Oklahoma, summer members out there have been telling me they've been having temperatures in the mid 90s with heat index values over 100. So some really, really hot weather going on. And with all this hot weather and instability, we've been having some severe storms here and there. Jesse's actually going to fill us in. We actually have, I think there's still a severe thunderstorm warning out there, and we also have a slight risk for tomorrow. So Jesse, why don't you tell us about what's going on the severe side of things?
Well, we actually have 2 severe warnings right now. One is up in Ohio, right here by Butler. It says it's canceled, but it's not. There's still activity there.
60-mile-per-hour wind gust looks like.
Doesn't look like much, but let's see what this new one is in Illinois.
Oh, that's St. Clair County.
That looks a little bit more productive, better on the radar than the other one. This one's got a 1-inch hail core.
Yeah.
Already been a report of 1-inch hail in Caseyville, Illinois.
Yep.
Excuse me. That thunderstorm warning is in effect until 10:15, so another half hour or so. It's moving southeast at 20 miles per hour, so it's not moving very fast either.
Very fast, yeah. That's going to be dumping a lot of rain with it as well there, it looks like.
And then tomorrow, we have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms from from central South Dakota into northern Minnesota, so right in through here, which does include Fargo. Oh, give me a break. Fargo, Grand Forks, Aberdeen.
My friend that lives in Grand Forks. Well, just east of Grand Forks. They're in Minnesota. And then we got that other up in upstate New York into Vermont and Pennsylvania.
Yes. A few thunderstorms are expected Monday afternoon and evening from South Dakota into northern Minnesota, and during the day from Pennsylvania into New York and Vermont, with isolated severe storms from Wyoming into Nebraska.
There we go. Wow. Interesting. So that's going to be hot down here. So that's what we got going on severe-wise. And that's not it, guys. We also have keeping an eye on the tropics as well. We have an area of disturbed weather that the Air Force Reserve reconnaissance aircraft may be going out to investigate this area. This is out here across the central Atlantic. Right now it has a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation within the next 48 hours and a 40% chance of formation within the next 5 days. Now, as this system does eventually continue moving its way west-northwestward toward the Lesser Antilles in the next 2 to 3 days, the environmental conditions do appear to be fairly favorable, low wind shear, warm surface waters. But once it begins approaching the Lesser Antilles, the favorable upper level winds are expected to kind of decrease and become a bit more unfavorable, which would potentially inhibit any further development. So we could possibly see this thing become a depression, but after that it may weaken out and really not make it even into the Caribbean. So just something to keep an eye on as we go through the next couple of days. Interesting fun fact for you guys. We actually posted this out on our Twitter page yesterday, but just in case you didn't get to see it, did you know that 95% of all Atlantic hurricanes typically form after July 15th? Now, we are about 25% through the entire Atlantic hurricane season. That runs from June 30th all the way through, June 1st all the way through November 30th. So we're already about 25% through, but 95% of all hurricanes in the Atlantic occur after July 15th. So even though we're 25% through, we still have a lot of activity that could be coming as we get through the rest of July and especially into August and September, with things peaking in September, then kind of declining, another little small peak in October, and things finally winding down into November. Another big weather story that you may have heard was about there was a flash flooding event that swept through a part of Arizona, and unfortunately there were some hikers that were out there near Payson, Arizona, and 9 people were killed, a family of 5 adults and 4 children. No, 4 adults and 5 children, I believe, ranging in age from 2 up to 60, and a 13-year-old boy is also still missing. This was in part of the Tonto National Forest where they were out hiking. Sheriff reported that they had received a 911 call about a search and rescue operations around the Cold Spring swimming hole. And those folks, they had no warning. That area with the terrain, with the rain coming down, it just quickly, the water just rages right through and just completely swept them away. And unfortunately, they just were completely caught off guard. So that's why, it's important to always check the weather before you're going to do outdoor activities, especially if you know that this area that they were in is historically known for, having those flash flooding type of events. We are in the monsoon season for sure. But we definitely really glad that you guys were able to join us for tonight's edition of Stormcast. I want to let everyone here know about something that we're going to really be kicking off as we're going into the fall season. Extreme weather videos, we're going to be doing a lot more on Periscope. It's an app that you can get on your phone, and we'll be doing different live short 2 to 3 minute weather update videos on there. So if you go, you can get the Periscope app. It's a free app that you can get on the iOS store or on Google Play. Download it to your smartphone. You simply just connect it to your Twitter and then follow us at Extreme WX Videos on Periscope, and you'll get notified when we go live for various, whether it's a breaking live weather event or just sharing another cool fun fact with you about meteorology and stuff like that. So definitely give us a follow on Periscope, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing you guys on there. Dan, Jesse, Dave, thank you guys for joining us here on this week's edition of Stormcast. Hope everyone has a great night, and we'll catch you guys again soon. And again, remember, turn around, don't drown. Have a great night, everyone.